Do you know what, yeah? Before I start, I'm so gassed. Like, I don't think you understand. This is so sick. So thank you for coming. And I can't believe she introduced me like that. You know when someone does that and then you get a bit awkward after because, like, oh, she said so many things. But yeah, my name is Yinka Bokinni. I am a radio and TV presenter. I say TV presenter, but, you know, I'm working on that side of things. I was born maybe like half a mile that way at King's College Hospital, and I grew up 7-minute walk from here in North Peckham. I grew up in Gloucester Grove Estate, part of the North Peckham Estate. So Peckham resident through and through. And I wanted to talk to you today about the myth of escaping the ghetto, because I grew up in a really close-knit community. I mean, we didn't even lock our door at all, which now I think about it was kind of silly, but we didn't lock our door. There was so much crime in my neighborhood, but we didn't realize it, because when you're a kid, you only see like the candy floss and the rainbows and the unicorns and stuff. And then it kind of all changed when Damilola Taylor died, because he was my next door neighbor. And it was one of those things that overnight, this place that I know, and this is the only thing I've ever experienced, all of a sudden became hell, because I was like 10, and your eyes are open to all of like the evils in the world, but you're not really ready for it. So we escaped, and we moved not even far, just in Nunhead, just down the road. And then my family and my dad and everyone, it's like this mentality. I don't know if it's like a West African mentality, I'm not sure. But if you're not West African, then you can tell me if you can relate. But it was you need to go to school, and then you need to get your GCSEs, then you have to get your A-levels, and then you have to go to university, so you can become successful, so you can escape the poverty, so you can escape the ghetto, so you can leave and make a better life for yourself and all of that sort of stuff. So I did that. I think I've got like 1,000 UCAS points. I did every single subject at college. I was in college for 4 years. That's a long time, you know. You're only meant to be there for 2. But yeah, so I did the sciences at A-level, and also RE, and art, and maths. And yeah, I told you 1,000 UCAS points. And yeah, so I did the sciences, and I got into a really good university. I went to UCL, which yet again is just over there. And I did law at uni. I studied for 4 years to be this high-flying lawyer. Yes, I saw Judge Judy, and I watched Legally Blonde, and this is the reason why I did law. But it was that or medicine, and I don't want to cut people open. So I did law at uni, and I remember going into class every day, going to lectures, going to seminars, and all this stuff, thinking, I cannot believe this is what I'm going to be doing for the whole of my life. Like, I'm going to be reading forever. I'm going to be talking about things that I don't care about. I don't care about maritime law. That was my pathway. Shipping and Coast Guards. Think like Captain Phillips, right? But just not sassy at all. Like, it's very boring. Like, I do know how long it takes to ship 5,000 tons of steel from China to Sierra Leone, but that's about it. So when I graduated, if I'm honest, I didn't go to my graduation. I didn't buy like a cap and gown. I didn't do any of that. But my dad was so proud. I come from a huge family. There are 7 siblings. I'm like in the middle somewhere. And I'm one of there's 2 of us who have degrees. One of my sisters is a midwife. I am a lawyer. So my dad was gassed, yeah, because he now has this piece of paper in his toilet. So every time he does a poo, right, he can stare at the fact that I did quite well at uni, yeah. But I was just so unhappy. Like, yeah, now I've got this piece of paper and no money, because it costs a lot to study, which I'm sure that some of us can appreciate. And I still felt like I was trying to run from something. Like, is it trying to run from myself? I was born in this place. It can't really be that bad. I know there are people under worse circumstances. I didn't know what to do. So I thought to myself, I've made Dad happy. He can chill out for a bit, yeah. He can rub it in his mates' faces whenever they come around and play poker. And so now let me try and do something for myself. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, even now, standing here, people ask me, like, how did you get your job? And I don't know. I don't know. I heard people on the radio, and I thought, you know what? I want to do that. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I think it's something that I could potentially be quite good at. So I know I like talking to people. I know that well, you guys have been laughing. I think I'm kind of funny. And like, don't deny it. But yeah, and so what I thought I would do is try and incorporate my love for music. Like, I love music, as like most people do. If you don't like music, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. Like, I met someone who doesn't like music the other day. I was like, what sort of music do you like? And she was like, none. And I was like, oh, this conversation's finished. let me leave. But yeah, so incorporate my love for music with my love for talking rubbish constantly. All the other speakers backstage, they know I don't shut up. I'm really sorry. I know I've been talking like blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I got a job at a radio station called Rinse FM. And I'm doing this a lot, but like, to work for free isn't really working, innit? I volunteered all my time, for like 4 years to this station. Eventually did the breakfast show. And it was maybe this time last year, I think it's about a year ago, where I seriously considered quitting. I thought, it's not going anywhere. Nobody wants me. These people don't want me. I'm only here because I do it for free. Yeah, like, they pay my expenses, which when you get a bus to work every day is not a lot. And so I thought, I've failed, because went to uni, I got a degree and debt. Now I'm trying to be a radio presenter. Oh, this is not working. I'm not on telly. I'm not doing anything. And I still live in Peckham. Like, I'm still here. 28 years, and I'm just, 27, because that was last year. But yeah, and I'm still just here. Like, how do I get out of this funk? I don't know how to try. And then I thought, you know what? Instead of complaining, mostly to my best friend Dan, who is sitting there, just try. Just send your tape to someone. Do something. Lo and behold, I got a job at Capital Extra. Yay, it's amazing. But I realised on this like year journey, and then the 4 years before that, and then the 4 years at uni, and the 7,000 UCAS points, and all the GCSEs that you can imagine. Yeah, I even did French. Why am I trying to escape? What am I trying to leave behind? Because, like me, I think that Peckham and I are a little bit similar. I'm not going to stab you, but we're a little bit similar because you're not perfect. I wouldn't say that I've completely made it. I wouldn't even describe myself as successful. I'm sure over half of you are looking at me like, who is that? Who is she? I've never heard of her before, which is fine, because you will soon. But no, I'm saying that we're not perfect, and we're not, flawless and anything like that. But if you don't invest like in yourself and do what you want to do, or like an area like this, which has had so many, I can't even sort of explain that. We haven't been given a chance, if I'm honest. I was born into a 3-bedroom flat with 7 kids and a single mum. 6 of us were like under 10. There's no opportunity there. Every single thing that they did to try and make things better didn't. Youth clubs don't exist anymore. Everything that after school things, like, it's just, I feel like everything's sort of pit against us. And if I don't invest in this area, and if I don't, at least try, then there's going to be another kid who maybe wouldn't think they could do it and wouldn't work as hard. Because if people are telling you constantly, you live in a crap place, this is a crap area, look at those bugs, look at the mice, all this, then you start to believe it. And the myth of escaping the ghetto is just so rife in our culture. And the fact that I'm not against gentrification, I think it sounds weird, I'm not against it, but I think it's a necessary part of evolving and adapting. Of course, I was born here and I want it to remain, and I like the fact that, you can go to the pub and get a pint for £3, it's wonderful, yeah? Probably not gonna happen for much longer. But if we don't allow things to move and to change and to grow, then we're gonna be stunted as people, and the area is still gonna be that rubbish, like blemish on the face of London or the map or whatever it is. It's just, I get so frustrated when, I see people put down because of where they are originally from, which is why I've chosen to just invest in like my town. So I'm buying my house and I'm doing things that I know will allow potential children or my family or whatever to have some sort of legacy. I think that we're taught so much to not have pride in where we're from because we live in council flats and we're not, our teachers are terrible. My teacher, in secondary school told me I was going to amount to nothing. And then last week she emailed me and asked me to do a talk, and I just sent her this emoji because no. But Our teachers are rubbish, yeah, because they're overworked, underpaid. The kids, our parents have too many children because of poverty and they don't know any better. And then you're left with my generation at least, who are just a little bit confused because we want to love where we're from, we want to love ourselves, but it's very difficult when you're told that you're rubbish all the time. So, here's to the inspirational part. Yeah, I don't have like the formula for success. I think that if you find love in what you do, then you can invest in yourself. I'm so about like being better. I don't think that any of us are at the top of our craft or at the top of the mountain, or, you know, I'm not there yet, nowhere near. I think this might even be my first proper job, because I worked in a hotel one time and I didn't go back. And I left my Jordans in the locker and I changed my number because they kept ringing me. And it was a terrible time. So it's about finding something that you actually love, be it talking rubbish for that 8 minutes now, or, you know, it could be creating stuff. It could even be if you like law and you love reading all of those books, yeah, and actually invest in the time in it. Because I think I read somewhere, you probably know the quote, it's like overnight success takes like 10,000 hours or something like that. And it's so true, because people look at me and they're like, oh, look at you, you're 12. I'm not. And like, you came out of nowhere and that. And I'm thinking, no, like, I used to do the breakfast show at Rinse FM, finish work at 10:30 a.m., go home and nap, then work in a pub from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the morning, then get home at 4 and wake up at 5, and for like 3 years. So it's like, if you don't actually put that work in, be it, did I just spit? Because I felt it come out. If you don't actually like put that work in and invest in yourself and in the area that you're from, nothing is going to improve. And then we're just going to have our own children, another generation of kids who have no idea what's going on. And that's not to say our parents are silly, they're not, but they didn't understand. We were like the baby bloomer thing, where they just had bare. I've got 6 brothers and sisters. Why did they do that? I love them all. Yeah, I do love them. They're kind of annoying, but I do love them. Now we're all in our 20s and 30s, so like it's a vibe. Every day's a house party. But, you know, if you don't invest, be it in your work or in where you are from, you're going to have, there's no pride. You're going to have nothing to leave behind. So hear me or feel my wrath, all right? Just invest in yourself, please. And I'm going to walk off really awkwardly. Thank you for laughing at my dead jokes. I appreciate it.